Welcome, everybody, to Films and Fermentation, episode 66. Yes, we are Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're just three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. Tonight's episode 66, we're breaking out an oldie but goodie for movie lovers everywhere, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. That's right.
Woo.
Episode 66 is 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. We understood that there's a connection there with all those sixes. We're just trying to ignore it. The Kevin Bacon game, for those of you who don't know, you can basically connect any actor in history, living and dead, to Kevin Bacon with no more than 6 steps. So what we're going to do tonight is the three of us have come up with some lists of actors and actresses. And the other two are going to try to guess some connections as best as we can with whatever movie knowledge we might actually have. Here's a little history of the game for you folks out there. Kevin Bacon has done some classic films during the 80s and 90s alone. He was in Friday the 13th in 1980, Footloose in 1984. He had a small role in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in 1987. He was in Tremors in 1990, one of my favorite cult films. Flatliners in 1990, A Few Good Men in 92, The Air Up There in 94, Apollo 13 in 95, Wild Things in 98, and that is just a small piece of his filmography. There is one other thing that he is known for, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's a play on the concept of 6 degrees of separation. The theory that posits that all human beings in the world are just 6 or fewer social connections away from each other. With the Kevin Bacon version, also known as Bacon's Law, you simply take any actor in Hollywood and show how they can get to Kevin Bacon in less than 6 jumps. It's become such an established part of pop culture that Bacon, who once said he was horrified by it, has now come to embrace it, even starting the 6 Degrees organization in 2007, a nonprofit organization that turned the 6 Degrees game connecting him to other Hollywood actors into a nonprofit aimed at using everyday activities to connect different people to different causes.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's just a little bit of the history of the Kevin Bacon game. Don't forget to email us at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. For those of you who have joined us on YouTube lately and become one of the many followers we now have on YouTube, thank you to everybody out there who has followed, liked, and subscribed to our YouTube channel and to all of our podcast channels. We'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Donut Soap. If you're watching on YouTube, you will definitely get a look at what Donut Soap looks like. For those of you listening to us on Spotify or Apple Pod or wherever you might listen to, it's a piece of soap with a hole in the middle, kind of like a
Big
donut.
hole.
Big hole
Big
in the
hole.
middle, kind of like a donut.
They're
It's-
trying to save money and they're taking away the part that's never used.
It's the
People
donut,
only ever use the sides of the soap.
and then you can buy the inside separately, like you can with donut holes.
That's right.
Donut Soap, specifically designed to give you the cleanest dick this side of the Mississippi. Strategically placed hole in the donut. So it's the first time I did a phony sponsor where I actually had a visual aid for it, though.
That's because Kevin hasn't made the Quaker Age yet.
That's right.
Quaker Ray, what was the other one? Oh, you haven't brought us any inverted pig rectums from your job.
No.
I was just there today, and they didn't have any.
A big demand for pig rectums lately.
Apparently.
Yeah, well, with fireworks being so expensive and all, people got to blow something up for the 4th of July.
Well, it's not just the pig rectum; it's the inverted boneless
Oh yeah.
pig rectum.
They're very specific pig rectums.
Yeah. No problem.
Before we get too disgusting, gentlemen, what are we drinking this evening? Mike, why don't you go first? Because you had an adventure with your drinks.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, Adrian and I went out to go find some more Devil Backbone, and I picked up Breckenridge Brewery because the BB is very similar to the DB symbol. So I am drinking tonight the Vanilla Porter from Breckenridge Brewery. It is 5.2% alcohol by volume, and it's very vanilla, It has a very vanilla flavor to it, and it's a little thick, as a porter usually is, at least to me.
Okay. Kev, what you got going on?
I am also drinking a thick one. Mine is the S'mores Stout by Big Muddy Brewing, which is out of Murfreesboro, Illinois. It is a s'mores flavored stout. It's 5.5% alcohol by volume. And I will let you know how it tastes shortly. Because as always, I don't open until I talk about it.
Oh, I'm already halfway through my first one.
Oh, that's s'morish.
More. So
S'morish.
I had decided that I was originally going to just drink something easy because I didn't feel like doing anything. So I was going to just do, my Mackenzie's Black Cherry Ale or something like that. And then at the last second, I decided to, work myself into doing a cocktail for this evening. So I tried to find something themed since we're doing Kevin Bacon tonight, and Kevin Bacon starred in the film Hollow Man. I am drinking an Invisible Man cocktail. It's not quite invisible. It actually has a yellowish tint to it. So I don't know why it's called an Invisible Man cocktail, but it is.
That's when he has to pee.
Yeah, it's basically, it's the only thing you can see. It's basically gin, whiskey, orange juice, and ginger ale.
Oh, I could have made that.
In that order, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not bad. I actually taste the gin more than anything else, but it's not bad. There was one other ingredient that I didn't have, but according to the recipe I read, it wasn't a necessary ingredient. So I didn't think
Just makes it invisible.
Just no, it was like something I think would make it a little bit more bitter, but I didn't really have it. So I don't need bitter. I've been doing a lot of bitter drinks lately. Mike, let's go ahead and do your next thing here.
This day in film history. In 2004, Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Tobey Maguire and Kristen Dunst, is released.
And it's funny because that was, last week's episode was all about the music of Danny Elfman, who did the theme for Spider-Man.
Yep.
I feel like a lot, our last few, like this days in film history, have all been kind of serendipitous. Kind of worked out a little bit. 2004, Spider-Man 2, which I considered the best of the Spider-Man films and one of the best superhero movies, I think, because I really like the whole Doc Ock arc in that film.
It's had me thinking a lot about superhero movies in the series and how much they tend to be better, a little bit better than the hell. I think I just lost power, guys. Tend to be better in the series, and it's usually the big pickup before the fall.
Yeah.
Kind
of why you look like you lost power.
It looks like you lost power.
Yeah. You know what? You guys go ahead and continue. I'll be right back.
So I think we can continue, Mike, because the next fact is kind of like more us than anything, because Kev's not the guy. So.
Okay.
I lost power up here.
And this is intriguing television, folks. So what will
we can edit this out later, right?
I don't know. Yeah, I might include this in the bloopers later or something.
Okay. So on this day in 1998, The Undertaker faced Mankind, Mick Foley, in a Hell in a Cell match that resulted in one of the most memorable yet frightening matches of all time.
Yes, for anybody out there who is not a wrestling fan, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, I encourage you to go on YouTube and look up Undertaker versus Mankind Hell in a Cell 1998 and watch Mankind get thrown off the top of the cell, get thrown through the cell, get up off the gurney, go back into the match, go through the cell, end up with a chair in his face, end up with a hole in his lip,
and his tooth coming out of his nose. Yes.
Oh yeah.
And Jim Ross going,
as
God is my witness, he's dead. He's broken in half.
So hey, power.
But the fan's not working anymore.
Let's switch.
Where
Oh,
were we?
Mike, you got a fun drink back for us?
I have a new hop variety for you. It's called Lotus. This proprietary hop from Hopsteiner, formerly called experimental number 06297, has a diverse parentage, including 50% Eastern Gold, a Japanese variety, 25% Apollo Cascade, and USDA 19058. I have no clue what any of that is. There is also a dab of Neo Mexicanus in the heritage. It's described as having orange, vanilla, berry, and tropical fruit flavors, and was jokingly called orange creamsicle at Hopsteiners during the development.
Okay.
So a new hop.
New hop.
I want a new hop.
Let's go to the hop.
Oh, baby.
Let's go to the hub. So we left off with notes from last show. So previously on Films and Fermentation, I apologize for the music from the last episode. It came through well on my end, but then when I listened to the recording, it wasn't great. So I have to work on that for the next time. Big news, Andrew Garfield has officially signed on for future MCU projects. Whether that is an Amazing Spider-Man 3 or appearances in the multiverse films or even him
Whole
playing a
new
different character, like it's not known, but we'll see what happens from there. It's an interesting development, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I finished the whole season 3 of the Umbrella Academy.
I am up to the last episode. I believe it's the last episode.
I think it was 10 episodes or something.
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe I have 2 more left. I don't know.
I think
But I'm enjoying it.
It's really good so far. I thought it's probably their best season so far.
I've gotten up to where 5 is getting the tattoo.
Okay. Yeah, it's been pretty interesting so far. It's been a pretty good season. I
Does
unfortunately
anybody else think Allison's a stupid bitch?
Allison's a little bitter this season.
I have not liked her storyline ever. Like from the first season till now, I've never really liked her storylines.
My biggest thing is you went into a different time stream.
Yeah.
Where you're not.
You don't exist.
Well, she didn't know that at the beginning, but you weren't raised by your father. So how does she think her daughter exists?
Yeah, exactly. Like like it's none of it makes sense.
Right.
Like, I don't like her storyline. I'm in it for Klaus and 5.
I'm kind of in it this year for Diego and Lila.
Yeah, they're fun too. Yeah,
and Stan.
She's a lot of fun. Lila.
Mm-hmm.
I have not watched Stranger Things at all yet.
You need to, my friend.
I'm waiting for my wife because she wants to watch it. But I have watched the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Only Murders in the Building. And if you have not checked this show out, I highly suggest you do. It's very entertaining.
Can I already start with the Kevin Bacon connections?
Yeah, sure.
At the beginning of Umbrella's Academy season 3, there's a Footloose montage, which is directed to Kevin, towards Kevin Bacon. Can I also make another connection that my beer, which is the S'mores Stout, which obviously has a picture of Sasquatch on the front. Mm-hmm. Okay. There was a movie that came out called Harry and the Hendersons, starring John Lithgow.
Yes.
John Lithgow was the preacher man in Footloose.
Starring Kevin Bacon.
Starring Kevin Bacon. Sorry, I got my connection there with my beer.
So you got your beer connection.
Got my beer connection.
I want to talk real quick about the benefits of word of mouth and free advertisement. At the Kevin and I were at a wedding this past weekend for his cousin Reese. It was a very nice wedding. My wife really enjoyed herself.
I'll say.
But at one point, I was at the bar getting a drink, and been drinking bourbon most of the night. So the bartender asked me what my go-to bourbon was. So he and I had gotten into this whole conversation about different bourbons. As I was talking to him, Kevin's cousin Colleen walked up. She is a friend of the show. She listens to us. She walked up and she goes, "What are you talking about? You telling him about your podcast?" And I was like, no, I'm not advertising this weekend. I was talking to him about bourbon. And the guy's like, wait, you have a podcast? And I go, yeah. And he goes, what's the name of it? I tell him, he writes it down. He goes, I'm always looking for something to listen to on my ride home. And I'm pretty sure he must have listened to us because there was a brand new listen to episode 1 this week.
Nice.
You should tell him not to begin with episode 1.
Yeah. I should have told him, start with episode 10.
Don't start at the beginning. You start at the last one and go backwards. To
Yes,
one
work
where
your way
horrible.
work your way back till you get tired of it, and then you want to listen to it. Should have told him, start with episode 10. That's where we really start to find ourselves.
We really need to go back and redo some of this.
Yeah.
episodes.
So
Should start with episode 4, do 4, 5, and 6, then
Yeah.
redo 1, 2, and 3, and then
then-
hop back up and do 7, 8, and 9.
but you only do 7, 8, 9, 20 years from now. So before we get into the real 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I have my own 6 degree of Kevin Bacon. And it's a little bit of a cheat because I have not been in a film unless you count the short film I did on YouTube a few years back, but there's nobody in that film with me that would, connect to Kevin Bacon.
That and you had to take it down for the pornography portion.
So I once met Bob Saget. Bob Saget and I shook hands in the bar at the Sands Casino many years ago. Bob Saget guest starred in the movie Half Baked with Dave Chappelle, who is in You've Got Mail with Tom Hanks, who is in Apollo 13 with Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
So due to the fact that I once shook Bob Saget's hand, I have a small connection to Kevin Bacon.
And you haven't washed that hand since.
I have not watched that hand since,
It's the dirty one.
Especially now that he passed on, I really haven't watched it. So that, everybody, is just a little introduction to our main segment this evening, which is the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Cue Footloose music here.
Footloose, take on your pretty shoes. Make me hurry. I like the cheese.
Of course, we are talking about the Footloose starring Kevin Bacon and not the really bad remake that came
We
out a
don't
few years
talk about
ago.
remakes.
We don't talk about Bruno. No.
No.
So each of us came up with 6 actors or actresses, some living, some dead, who we thought would be fun to try to connect to Kevin Bacon. So each of us is going to name an actor from our list, and the other 2 are going to try to figure out some sort of connection. If no connection can be made in less than 6 moves, the person who put the name on the list will reveal their connection, because each of us were supposed to kind of research this a little bit so we can have an answer to this just in case.
Oh,
So
okay.
I hope Kevin did his homework.
Of course I did. Shit.
This is why teachers make the worst students. So for my list, I chose an actress that is my current crush, an actress that is one of my long-term crushes, 2 actors who are on my Mount Rushmore, a deceased actor who I really, really like, and another actor who I added at the last minute just because I thought it'd be fun. Mike has one of his favorite connections to make because he's so proud of his ability to make this connection between this actor and Kevin Bacon.
Mhm.
We have
I took my list and made older actors nowadays, so not anything in his time period of Kevin Bacon.
and a very, very wide variety of choices on your list there.
Yes.
And then Kevin
I
put
made
his
it so
list down
I've
5
also made
minutes.
different genres.
Kevin typed up his list 5 minutes before we started.
And
I
a
can
wide
make the
variety of-
connection. I can make the connection, I'm
As
sure.
long as you can make the connection, that's fine. So what I thought we'd do here is we'd start with one from my list and then go to Mike's, Kevin's, and round robin it a little bit. So we'll start with my number 1, Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale. I will tell you this: I can make the connection in 2 moves. Can you?
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know if I can do it in 2. I could probably do it in 3.
Okay.
Um,
Start spitballing. Let's see what you come up with.
Well, I could either take the Adam Sandler path, which
Okay.
is probably the sure way to go.
Okay.
or the Kenneth Branagh path. I think I'm going to go with the Adam Sandler path. So her and Adam Sandler in Click.
Okay.
Okay. And then Adam Sandler and Kevin Bacon in A Few Good Men.
I don't think so. I don't think
Wasn't Adam Sandler?
I
the
don't believe
one
Adam Sandler is in A Few Good
sitting
Men.
on
I really
you
thought
want
you
the
had
truth?
something
You
there.
can't handle the truth, and
You
that was
couldn't- you
Adam Sandler going, "You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth." Oh, damn it, you better buy. Oh, damn it.
well, shit.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
I think I'm just going delirious from all the technical difficulties we had this evening, but that was pretty fucking funny. You really could make a connection using like Chris Walken or Sean
No, I
Astin.
mean I could have gone with the direction of Chris Walken. So Kate Beckinsale to Christopher Walken in Click, Christopher Walken to
Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
Very
There you
good.
go. Good there. Thank you.
Tom Hanks.
Look at that
and
coming out of the back with support. Thank you.
There you go. I actually had a very shorter connection than that. Kate
Mhm.
Beckinsale was in the film Underworld, which
Yeah.
co-starred Michael Sheen.
Oh yeah.
Michael Sheen was in the film Frost Nixon, which co-starred Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon.
So I had a very, very short route there for
Could
that.
have also done Bill Nye, because Bill Nye
Bill Nye was also in that film. Yeah.
Underworld, and then Bill Nye's got a whole shit ton of connections through Love Actually. So
Yeah, and he's also the science guy.
Mhm. Bill.
So, Mike, why don't you give us one of yours?
Oh, well, I'm going to go with the top one. John Wayne.
John Wayne. Now, you and I have done this before.
And I can
So,
do it in two.
I should remember it, but I don't. John Wayne's a tough one, just because, like, you go older John Wayne, younger John Wayne, dead John Wayne.
All right, I'm going to work on this because I think I can do John Wayne.
All right.
Okay, so John Wayne to
Starred in Grown Ups with Adam Sandler.
that's right, starting Grown Ups with Adam Sandler.
No, John Wayne would not lower himself to Adam Sandler.
Maureen O'Hara, The Quiet Man.
Okay.
Maureen O'Hara to John Candy in.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, see that?
I got
Is
the
that
connection.
only
I got
you?
it.
Is that
He
you?
was in It Was Only You, because she plays his mother in the film.
Right.
And John Candy was in JFK with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
That's about 3 moves.
That was 3 moves, I believe.
Yeah.
What did you have,
Do it
Mike?
in two.
All right, give me 2.
John Wayne was in True Grit with Robert Duvall.
It was in Jane Mansfield's car with Kevin Bacon.
Exactly. 2 moves.
2 moves, but that was still pretty good on Kevin and I's part.
Yeah.
That was a pretty
Yeah.
good connection. And that whole John Candy thing, I didn't even
I
think
wonder
of
if he could do
Maureen O'Hara.
done, I don't know if he could have done
Well, he was in The African Queen with oh no, that's Humphrey Bogart. I'm thinking
with Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So John Wayne.
He was in Big
also
Daddy, though, right?
Yes, he was.
was.
No, he was
Adam
with-
Sandler.
No, he was with he had
Did I tell you
Look at the penguin. Oh my god, it's fucking so late. It's
wow.
oh man. So Kevin, speaking of Adam Sandler, Kevin's first one is Chris Rock. Let's figure this shit out.
I'm gonna look at Chris Rock's serious.
No, you know
body of
what?
work.
You know what? We can start making connections now from other connections.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it. Chris Rock.
Okay.
He was in Grown Ups with Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
It was in Click with Kate Beckinsale. It
Okay.
was in Underworld with Michael Sheen. It was
Okay.
in Frost Nixon with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
That's
So
4
your
moves.
4.
That's 4 moves. 4
Chris
fucking
Rock-
moves. Go ahead, Mike.
Chris Rock was
Mhm.
in Dogma.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was in Superman versus Batman with Henry Cavill.
Mhm.
Henry Cavill was in Mission Impossible Fallout with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, A Few Good Men.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that just took out my Henry Cavill one too. So that was what, one,
That's 4.
four. So I got it a 4 too.
Chris Rock was in Sergeant Bilko with Dan Aykroyd, who was in She's Having a Baby with Kevin Bacon.
Wow.
2 moves.
Nicely
moves.
done.
Nice.
2 moves.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. All right. Let's see. My next one then is Denzel Washington. I already got this one figured out too. And this is one that I didn't have figured out before that just clicked into my head now.
Hmm.
And I'll give you a hint. It has to do with my first name, Kate Beckinsale.
Denzel and Kate. Oh, Much Ado About Nothing.
You got it.
So yeah, Much Ado About Nothing. And then we go from Kate Beckinsale and follow
to
the
Michael
follow that
Sheen.
path.
Yeah, so you got that link right there.
Yeah.
They were in Much Ado About Nothing together. You could also make a Kenneth Branagh connection that way as well if you want it.
Mm-hmm. You could also go from Denzel to Matthew Broderick in Glory, Matthew Broderick to Matthew Broderick to Ali Sheedy in War Games,
Mm-hmm.
Ali Sheedy to Kevin Bacon in The Breakfast Club.
Bacon wasn't in the Breakfast Club.
Nope.
Who was the jock?
That was Emilio Estevez.
Oh, fuck.
Well, no, because then Emilio Estevez was in Young Guns with Kiefer Sutherland, who was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
There we go.
That was a lot. How about
Denzel Washington was in The Manchurian Candidate with Meryl Streep, who was in The River Wild with Kevin Bacon.
Good call.
Denzel
That's
Washington was in Ricochet with John Lithgow.
Ooh, there we go.
Ooh, John
And
Lithgow.
it was
Kevin Bacon.
Footloose.
Yeah.
Footloose with Kevin Bacon. That was a real quick one. That's a good one. I forgot about that movie, Ricochet. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's like a
That was
real
good.
early Denzel movie, man.
Yeah.
It's such a convoluted plot, but it's a fun movie.
John Lithgow can play a good villain from time to time.
John Lithgow, I think, is like an underrated actor. I feel like
Yeah.
he had a pretty interesting career when you look at all the different things. Like you wouldn't have thought he'd be a very good comedic sitcom star, but then you watch Third Rock from the Sun, and he was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then he plays a really creepy villain on Dexter,
Mm-hmm.
like right after that, you know. Next on Mike's list is Gene Wilder.
I can get it in 4.
You can do it 4.
2 ways in 4. I have 2 ways I could get it in 4.
Wow. Let me think. Gene Wilder.
To Terry Garr
Okay.
in Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
Terry Garr to. Do I want to connect her to Michael Keaton and Mr. Mom, or do I want to connect her to Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie? Which one's a better path?
Dustin. You can
Dustin Hoffman?
If you do Dustin Hoffman and Tootsie, then you do Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man with Tom Cruise.
Rain Man,
Good
Tom
Men with
Cruise.
Kevin
There you
Bacon.
go.
Yeah. That's a pretty good one.
That was a good one.
Mhm.
That's
What
not
did
the
you
way
have?
I went.
What did you have, Mike?
I went, he was in Blazing Saddles with Mel Brooks.
Okay.
Mel Brooks was in Robin Hood Men in Tights with Carrie Ellis.
Carrie Elways.
Elways.
Yeah.
Now from there I can go one of 2 ways. Because Carrie Elways was in Bram Stoker's Dracula with Gary Oldman, who was in Criminal Law with Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Or I could have gone Carrie Elways was in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise. And Tom Cruise is in A Few Good Men.
Good Man with Kevin Bacon.
He played Iceman in Days of Thunder.
So that way you can actually hook up Andre the Giant Kevin
To
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's funny. It's so funny. Next on Kevin's list is Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin.
So
You
now
know,
you-
I thought I was throwing us for a loop, but this is too easy. But
Yeah,
I'll let
because-
you guys go.
Because
She was in
you just use the X-Men factor.
X-Men
Yeah.
to Wolverine.
So she was in X-Men.
Well, she
with
was
Hugh
she was
Jackman.
supposed to be in Days
Jack-
of Future Past,
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman. Hugh
and
Jackman
that
was
would
the-
have given us the link to any of the X-Men in Days of Future Past to Kevin Bacon in First
because-
Class.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So Anna Paquin is connected no matter what, just because of Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Because Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman ended up being in Days of Future Past, and he had the cameo in First Class.
Yeah.
So he would have been connected to Kevin Bacon that way.
Yep.
Oh wow, no, that was a good one. I think when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, how the fuck am I going to Anna Paquin? And then I'm thinking, well, it has to be an X-Men connection.
Mhm.
But then when you think about all the X-Men films that were out there, it was kind of inevitable because Kevin Bacon is in First Class. So that kind of
Yeah.
that kind of solidifies it right there. So you can connect Kevin Bacon to John Hamm because he was in Mad Men with the actress who played Emma Frost. I can't
January Jones.
January
Yeah.
Jones. So like if you wanted to use a
Well,
TV connection,
There's also your Sean Bean connection though,
how's that?
because the dwarf
Oh, Peter Dinklage was in
Peter
Game of
Dinklage.
Thrones with
Yes.
Sean Bean, yeah.
and he
Now,
was
if
an
I-
X-Men.
If I wanted to do it as a movie one, so I'm gonna go to Sean Bean then because he's the last one on my list. But I want to try to do
Okay.
it just with movies.
Sean Bean was in Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. You have to figure that's he was in Lord of the Rings with Ian McKellen, who was in X-Men with Hugh Jackman, who was in First Class with Kevin Bacon.
Yep.
So that's it right there. All you have to do is that X-Men connection right there.
Mhm.
So I will go to my other one on my list then, since that was kind of like a throw in there. Heath Ledger.
Okay.
Heath Ledger.
I kind of feel like this is probably an easy one.
Yeah.
It might not seem like it, but
I got a way I want to go, but it's a very convoluted way. But I got to bring his up his IMDb because I cannot remember the name of the movie for the life of me. He was actually semi-replaced in the movie because he was filming it at the time of his death. It was that Terry Gilliam one. What was that?
Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah,
So he was in that. So like they used
bits of him, right? They didn't
they had
completely cut him out.
his performance, and then at various times in the movie he turned into other people. It was like a Doctor Who scenario. So he had Colin Farrell was one of the guys playing him in the movie.
Mhm.
I don't remember. There was 3 actors. I don't remember who the other one was. No, it was Dr. Parnassus. He was in that with was it Christopher Plummer in that as well?
Christopher Plummer, Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
I thought they even brought in Johnny Depp at some point too.
I believe Johnny Depp was the other actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of connections you can make there. I have a quicker connection for that.
Tom Waits, man. We could go through
Tom
Tom
Waits.
Waits.
Connect them to Mystery Men.
That's right.
Heath Ledger was in The Dark Knight with Gary Oldman, who was in Criminal Law with Kevin Bacon.
I did.
Oh, there you go.
So you even have a shorter route than that you can go with.
Yep.
So
Sometimes I like the scenic route.
yeah, I'm having fun with this. We should do this again some other time. They're all different actors. Next on Mike's list is Henry Cavill, Superman.
Which we already did.
Mm.
How do we
did
do that one?
We did that through Chris Rock.
Okay.
Chris Rock to Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill.
So I want to try something different though, because I don't want to just because there's got to be other ways. So he was in Man of Steel with Amy Adams.
Mhm.
Amy Adams was in. Let me think. There's got to be something out there I can use. She's been in a million movies. Amy Adams was in Enchantment with Susan Sarandon.
I was going to say the Marston Kid, but
Oh, yeah,
and then
she-
follow the X-Men road.
And then you could do the X-Men road. Yeah, I knew there was some
Mhm.
like connection that way. I was trying to do something different with that one.
Well, you could also go
Well,
Susan Sarandon, then Susan Sarandon to Kevin Costner and Raging or Bull Durham, and then Kevin Costner to
JFK.
Kevin Bacon, JFK.
But
Yeah,
mine still only had 2 steps.
yeah, because I got it. Henry Cavill was in Man of Steel with Kevin Costner, who was in JFK with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Costner played his dad. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Then we have next on Kevin's list, George C.
Let's see
Scott.
Scott.
George C. Scott.
George C. Scott was
That's a good one.
yeah, that's a good one. George C. Scott was in 12 Angry Men with Jack Lemmon, who was in who was in Grumpy Old Men with Walter Matthau, who was in JFK with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
Boom.
Oh, you did it.
Boom. I don't know if we could do anything else other than that one.
Now I was going to go again the scenic route, and go through A Christmas Carol, because that's the one I'm most
Oh
familiar
yeah,
with.
I love Christmas Carol.
And I could have gone. It could have been. Oh, what's her name? She used to be married to Val Kilmer. Hold on, I gotta find her name. The one who played Faye. Her name is. Oh, where is she? Joanne Whaley.
Okay.
Joanne Whaley, right? George C. Scott and Joanne Whaley in The Christmas Carol. Joanne Whaley to Val Kilmer in Willow. Val Kilmer to Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Tom Cruise to Kevin Bacon in A Few Good Men.
I actually just thought of a quicker way to Kevin Bacon from George C. Scott.
What's that?
So George C. Scott did 12 Angry Men with Jack Lemmon,
Mhm.
but he also did Inherit the Wind with Jack Lemmon, who was in Grumpy Old Men with Walter Matthau. So it was like the same level of separation, but 2 different movies that they were in together. Let's see. Next on mine is Marlon Brando. I kind of feel, based on how easily we were able to get some of the more obscure ones, that Marlon Brando is probably an easy
Brando
one.
is simple.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brando was in The Godfather with Robert Duvall,
Okay.
who was in Jay Mansfield's car.
Sorry, we can't make it. I actually have a different one for that one. I have Brando was in The Godfather with De Niro, who was in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon.
There you go.
Never see Sleepers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's an underrated movie from the 90s.
Wait,
there.
was it Sleepers or was it Flatliners?
Flatliners is the one where they kill themselves and come back to life to see if they can see what's happening in the beyond.
Flatliners, didn't that have
Flatliners was
Kiefer Sutherland,
Kiefer
Sutherland,
Sutherland, Julia Roberts,
Oliver Platt.
Oliver Platt, and Kevin Bacon. Yeah. Sleepers is Kevin Bacon, De Niro, Brad Pitt's in it, Jason Patrick. It's about a group of kids who get sent to a penitentiary for like juvenile criminals, and they get raped by the prison guards. And Kevin Bacon plays one of the prison guards, and then years later they find him and murder him, and they have to go on trial for it and stuff. It's a pretty decent movie. So let's see what we got next here. Chuck Norris.
I can do it in 4.
You can do it in 4, the man says. Chuck Norris. All right. Give me your what do you think, Kev? I'm trying to think Chuck Norris was in the Expendable films with
Which would open up a whole.
You got Stallone, you got Willis, you got Lithgow, you got Kelsey Grammer, you got Harrison Ford, you got Dolph Lundgren,
Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens is not in Expendable.
Adam Sandler.
So Chuck Norris is in the Expendables with Sylvester Stallone, who is in what am I going to use for this one? Let's try Demolition Man with Sandra Bullock. was in. Oh God. This is such. There's definitely got to be an easier one. Kev, why don't you give it a shot? I'm stuck.
All right.
I think this might be the one that broke me.
Chuck Norris
Yes.
to Chuck Norris to Jason Statham, right? And the Expendables.
He was in the Expendables.
Okay.
Jason
Statham.
Statham.
Right. Jason Statham to who am I thinking of now?
I don't know.
Snatch. Brad Pitt
Okay.
in Snatch, right?
Uh-huh.
Brad Pitt to Kevin Bacon in Sleepers.
There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I did 3. Mine was Chuck Norris in the Expendables,
Mm-hmm.
to Sly Stallone in Guardians 2, to Chris Pratt in Endgame, to Josh Brolin in Hollow Man.
With Kevin Bacon.
And the other way I went was Guardians 2 to Michael Rooker, who's in Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise and A Few Good Men.
Michael Rooker, isn't he the weatherman on the Today Show?
He's also Yondu.
Yeah, he's Michael
Yondu.
Rooker.
Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
Not Al Roker. Oh, I got 2.
You got 2?
Rooker?
I got 2. No. Chuck Norris made a cameo appearance in Dodgeball with a cameo
Yes.
appearance from William Shatner, who is in She's Having a Baby with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, wow.
I knew there was something out there, man. Fuck. Love Dodgeball. I actually just watched that recently. I should
So
have thought of
that
that
means
earlier.
you could have done Chuck Norris to Sly to Sandra Bullock to William Shatner.
Yeah. Many paths we could have taken. All right, just for shits and giggles on my list. Oh no, we're back on Kevin's list here. We're
Okay.
on
That's right.
we're on Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh.
Ooh.
Michelle Yeoh was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Sylvester Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make your
Forgot all
connection
about
that way.
that. Yeah.
Chris
Make your
Pratt
connection that way.
Endgame. Yeah.
I was actually looking to use what's it called? Bubblegum milkshake or
Oh, Gunpowder Milkshake.
gunpowder milkshake, because
Gunpowder
there's
milkshake.
a lot that she could. I mean, you could just get her to Lena Headey.
Yeah, so she's in that movie with Lena Headey. Was it not Viola Davis? Angela Bassett was it in that movie?
Angela Bassett,
Carla
Carla.
Cugino's in that movie,
Mhm.
and Nebula. What's her name? Karen Gillan.
Mm-hmm.
She's in that as well. So there's a lot of connections you could probably make in that movie.
Right. So
Carla Cugino.
Carla Cugino to Pauly Shore in Son-in-Law.
My.
I am going the long way.
Pauly Shore to Brendan Fraser in Encino Man.
Yes.
Brendan Fraser's in School Ties with Ben Affleck.
I was actually looping my way back to Michelle Yeoh because Brendan Fraser was in the Mummy Tomb of the Emperor's Tomb or whatever the hell that was. And that's back to Michelle Yeoh.
Oh my God.
I took a wrong turn somewhere.
I think it was Pauly Shore.
Good
Fucking
God.
delirious right now. Oh God. I'm having a lot of fun in this episode, but I am not looking forward to editing. Oh my God. Let's see what's next. I have on mine, I threw on my current crush, Ana de Armas,
Okay.
It was a Knives Out.
with a million actors that you can use.
Yeah. Well, you can use. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
With Chris.
He was in Christopher Plummer.
Christopher
not
Plummer,
No, not
Oh,
Plummer.
you're thinking
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, who was in Endgame with Josh Brolin, who was in Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon.
I was
There
going
you
to
go.
say Ana de Armas was in Knives Out with Christopher Plummer, who was in Undiscovered Country with William Shatner, who was in She's Having a Baby with Kevin Bacon.
I was going to say Ana de Armas was in
Pee-wee's
Blade
Big
Runner 20.
Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling, not Mark Gosling. Ryan Gosling, who was with
He was in Kevin Bacon and Crazy Something Love.
Oh, Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love.
Kevin Bacon, was it? Oh yes, he was. He was
He's Julianne Moore's lover in the film.
forgot all about that. There you go.
There's your
That's the
connection.
shortest. That was the shortest one so far.
Yeah, that was the easiest connection. Wow.
Yeah.
Mike has Zachary Quinto. So we're definitely gonna have to do a Star Trek connection here because I can't think of a Heroes connection. So Zach Quinto is in Star Trek with, let me think, Zoe
Leonard
Saldana.
Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy. So I was doing he was in Star Trek with Zoe Saldana, who was in the Guardians 2 with either Sly Stallone, Michelle Yeoh, or Michael Rooker. And you said Michael Rooker was in
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder with
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, who was in Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon.
I can do it in 2.
Give me 2.
Give you 2. Zachary Quinto, Star Trek Into Darkness with
Benedict Cumberbatch.
who was in Black Mass.
Who is in
Black Mass with Kevin Bacon. There you go. Well, then you also have a Johnny Depp connection there too, because Johnny Depp played Whitey Bulger in Black Mass.
Yes.
That's a good movie, man. That's a really good movie. Next is the one that Kevin has been waiting for all night. Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman.
Paul
He was in
motherfucking Rubens.
He was in Mystery Men.
He was in Mystery. Oh, that's right. He was in Mystery Man.
That's the one you have to go
with Ben Stiller. So who else do you have? You have Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller.
Jeffrey Rush.
Yep.
Well, there's your connection with Jeffrey Rush then.
William H. Macy.
Jeffrey Rush
was in Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp, who was in
Black Mass.
Black Mass with Kevin Bacon.
There it is.
Wow, I didn't even think of Mystery Man. That's a good one. I was trying to come up with some like obscure Pee-wee's Big Adventure connection. I thought would have been like a fun one.
I would have gone in the Buffy direction.
I was thinking the Buffy one too. Yeah.
You know.
So Buffy. He was in Buffy with Rutger Hauer, who was in Blade Runner with Harrison Ford, who was in Blade Runner 2049 with Ana de Armas. So, I mean, it's a long route, but
see, I would have went Rutger Hauer to either Matthew Broderick or Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
And what's that movie called? Lady Hawk. And try to go from there.
Well, other movies. So Pee Wee Herman, but I think the Mystery Man one is probably a really good one.
Yeah, it's probably
probably the easiest one. You got Ben Stiller, Janine Garofalo. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of things in there. Jeffrey Rush is the easiest one because you got the Pirates of the Caribbean connection.
Right, but you got Eddie Izzard.
Izzard. So Paul Rubens was in Mystery Men with Eddie Izzard, who was in Ocean's 12 with Brad Pitt. Oh no. With Brad Pitt, Matt Damon's in it, George Clooney's in it, so you got a bunch of people you can connect from there.
Yeah.
So that's another way you can go. All right. So Paul Rubens wasn't as difficult as we thought.
Way to go, guys.
Way to go. Good job. Last on Mike's list is Roger Moore. Old James Bond.
I did it in 1, 2, 3. 3 steps.
So you're the James Bond expert. I'm not. Was Roger Moore? Oh God. Was Chris Walken one of the villains for Roger Moore?
Yes, in A View to a Kill.
So Chris Walken. who was in Deer Hunter with Bobby De Niro, who was in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon.
Not bad. I've got Roger Moore,
Mhm.
Kill with Christopher Walken, who was in Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks.
Who was
Tom
in
Hanks, Apollo 13. Well, there's your connection. There's your Sean Bean connection too.
Okay.
Sean Bean was in Lord of the Rings with Viggo Mortensen, who was in Prophecy with Christopher Walken, who was in Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks.
Okay.
That's a longer route, but
Yeah.
got it there.
Roger Moore.
He also did one
He was
with
in Cannonball Run with Burt Reynolds.
Debbie Moore with Burt Reynolds and Striptease.
Who was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon. Or Burt Reynolds was also in Starting Over with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, okay.
So you had a quicker connection there. So we go to our last one of the evening, folks. It's been a lot of fun, but some of us have to go to bed at some point.
We just have to work tomorrow morning.
So it's at the work tomorrow morning. Some of us want to make sure this video saves before their memory runs out again. Whoopi Goldberg is the last name on Kevin's list.
All right. So I have to say, I made the connection prior, but I did want to double check with Oracle. I'm sorry, I wanted to double check, not with Oracle, with IMDb. And there is a movie that these two have in common, but I went one. I only had one step. Okay. Whoopi Goldberg to Demi Moore in Ghost, Demi Moore to Kevin Bacon in A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But apparently they were in a movie together.
Kevin Bacon
Called,
Goldberg?
yeah, called Destination Anywhere.
I've never heard of that film.
Never heard that one.
No.
Wow. Had I have noted that film, we could have made some other connections too. Using Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
I was going to do Whoopi Goldberg was in. See, I went a different route. I was in like Whoopi Goldberg was in Sister Act with Harvey Keitel, who was in who I think was also in Sleepers with Kevin Bacon. So I had like a different route I was trying to go in, but I didn't even know they did a movie together.
Yeah, it came up when I was looking up Whoopi Goldberg, and I was like, "Oh, what is this one?" Because I was going through her film history, and I saw that Demi Moore was also in this one. I was like, "Oh, should I just go through that connection?" But then there it is: Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, and Whoopi Goldberg are all in this one from 1997 called Destination Anywhere. It's a video. It's a 45-minute video.
Oh, it's a Bon Jovi thing. I'm looking it up now. It's on.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
Count.
Okay.
It was like I don't. Yeah, it's like a short film starring John Bon Jovi,
That doesn't count.
and it has a bunch of like Bon Jovi songs in it.
Okay. All right. Then never mind. That one doesn't count.
Let's make it a little more difficult. I mean, that is like.
I mean, it's got quite a cast. Whatever the hell it is, it's got Demi Moore, Annabella Sciorra, Kevin Bacon, Whoopi Goldberg,
John Bon
Paul
Jovi.
Rubens, Olga Barbado, Vinnie Vella.
Paul Rubens is in it.
No, I'm kidding.
Brendan Fraser, Pauly Shore. I mean,
Ryan Baldwin.
Yeah. I mean, it is like a pretty stacked cast. It's a short film, but like it's got a hell of a cast in it.
Mm-hmm.
Destination. Yeah, I've never heard of this. So weird. Came out the same year as Blaze of Glory from Young Guns 2.
That's how he got everybody to sign on.
Yeah. So let me just
He's
try
riding that
this.
Blades of Glory fame.
I'm gonna try this without the short film. Let me see. Whoopi Goldberg. Well, Mike, you did it because Whoopi Goldberg was in Ghost with Demi Moore.
Yeah.
Who was in A Few Good Men with Kevin Bacon. So that's the easiest connection right there.
That is the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
This is I had fun with this. This was, we got a little out of control, and a lot of it had to do with technical difficulties and fatigue and Paul Rubens and Pauly Shore.
Could you
And
imagine?
Adam Sandler being in it for good men.
Could you imagine what this could be like if we had a few more drinks in us?
I have a couple drinks in me. I was drinking before I made the mixed drink. The mixed drink was what I did during the show, but I was already hitting the Mackenzies before that. I'm done. That was actually a decent drink. It was a Invisible Man cocktail, which was easy to make, easy to drink, and helped me get through some major bullshit during this episode tonight. Let's
You mean
avoid
Kevin's bullshit. Oh,
I think in future episodes we need to avoid the 3 6s somehow.
yeah. Twice we had 3 6s.
Kevin, how was your drink this evening?
My drink was very good, very marshmallowy, which was a little surprising. Typically with the stouts, you get a stronger chocolate with hints of marshmallow. This one had the stronger flavor was the marshmallow. Okay. It was good. I would look for more from Big Muddy.
Big Muddy. Mike, how was your stuff?
My first one was okay. The second one, the Summer Pill Shanty by Breckenridge Brewery, it was good. I would put it a step below Lindenkugel's Shanty, but not bad at all.
Do you have any beer wisdom for us this evening, Michael?
I do. Let me get it out. Let me whip this out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Where are white women at?
Save the Earth. It's the only planet with beer.
Say that again.
Save the Earth. It's the only planet with beer.
I don't know. I heard there's like a nebula out there somewhere in the galaxy that's made up of alcohol or something.
Alcohol, not beer. Alcohol.
Beer is alcohol. So thank you for joining us tonight, everybody, for this fucking shit show of an episode 66. The Kevin Bacon 6 Degrees episode. I don't want to say the 6s in a row anymore. We are going to be
back on. Looks like you got a halo going back there.
So this episode is being recorded on a Thursday and is dropping on Monday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Our next episode is not going to be for a little while. I will be on vacation next week, so you can see instead of a new episode the following Monday, I'm going to be dropping an old episode, doing a revisit to one of our older episodes, episode 20, which is Getting to Know Us. The episode where we play some games to try to learn a little bit more about our likes and dislikes as far as beverages and movies are concerned. So I feel like now that we have
Adam Sandler.
Well, now that we have a few more followers out there, it might be nice to re-release that episode. So this episode will be released on July 4th. We'll have a revisit to episode 20 next week. And then our next episode will be the week after that. So that'll be the week of July 17th, I want to say, or July 18th, something like that.
That would be the Monday, the 11th.
July 18th.
So, yeah.
I think. So we'll be releasing a new episode in a couple of weeks. I don't know what we're going to be doing yet, but I will be sure to update everyone on our social media sites as we figure it out. In the meantime, thank you for joining us tonight for episode 66, the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin, not Bacon.
Mike.
Thanks again for joining us here at the crossroads between pickled and fermented. We hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed fucking it up for you. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night and have a safe July 4th weekend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. Where were we? All right. So no, I'm thinking of Kiefer Sutherland.
Mhm.
No, but I can go through.
So you're trying to do a short connection. It doesn't have to be a short connection.
I can get through Ben Affleck through my guy Henry Cavill.
I don't even know if you have to go that far. Like you can do.
What? Henry Cavill's only a 2-step.
Yeah, but I'm trying to.
Kevin
I'm
Bacon.
trying to go back to the Chris Rock one. All right,
That's
we're
what I'm
getting,
saying.
we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's
Yeah.
No, you guys all did 6. I only did 5.
I was gonna do 5 that I remember Roger Moore.
Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee Herman was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer with Rutger Hauer,
Mhm.
who was in Blade Runner with Harrison Ford.
Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves again.
Harrison Ford was in. I'm trying to figure out. There's got to be a way Sean Bean fits in there somewhere.
There it is.
Sean Bean's been in a million fucking things. I'm putting Sean Bean. I'm making Sean Bean my 6 because you guys all have 6.
Well, Sean Bean's
All right, I'm ready to get started if you guys are.
Yep.
This is it's the 666 episode 66, 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
We all
Yes,
have
this is
6.
the devil episode. We all have six.
And we all have 6 things. Ooh, this is fucked up. And I could just like splice it together later. Oh boy. So we were on notes from the last show, so I'm just jumping right into it.
Well, I'm heading on to my second beer.
All right.
The summer shanty.
I didn't even get a chance to go refill my drink. I was just so busy trying to get this shit working.
Yeah, should we take a break, guys?
Let's take 5. Smoke them if you
Good
got
job.
them.
Good job, everyone.
All right. So